Hello and welcome to the SciFirst MovieTalk episode. So in this episode I'll be discussing Disney's 1997 animated classic, Hercules. Their 35 such animated classic as directed by Ron Clements and John Musker, who had actually previously directed some of the studio's past hit movies such as 1989's The Little Mermaid and indeed my personal favourite, 1992's Aladdin. Now, this movie doesn't quite reach the dizzying heights that those managed to achieve, but it is still fantastically entertaining nonetheless, and brings that special kind of Disney magic to the stories and the lore of ancient Greece with a dazzling eclectic display of music, story and animation that will have you toe-tapping for absolute sure. It will also have me tongue-twisted because given the names of some of the characters in this, you're in for a good laugh. So, here we go. In this movie, we are introduced to the Greek gods Zeus, the god of thunder, as voiced by Rip Torn, and Hera, the goddess of women, as voiced by Samantha Eggar, living up in Mount Olympus, the home of the gods, who have just become the proud parents of a bouncing baby boy, Hercules, as voiced by Josh Keaton during his adolescence, Tate Donovan when he's older, and Roger Bart when he bursts into song. However, the god of the underworld, Hades, as voiced by James Woods, has designs on Mount Olympus himself and discovers that in the future, his plans to overthrow Zeus, if you like, will always be thwarted if Hercules fights. Hades then hatches a sinister diabolical plan to turn Hercules human and have him killed. But the plan goes south, and although Hercules becomes mortal, he still has his godlike strength and foils the plans by sending the demon minions sent to kill him packing. So those are your Pain and Panic, as voiced by Bobcat Goldthwait and Matt Frewer, respectively. I'm doing alright with the names so far, I think. Hercules, now unable to return to Mount Olympus, is rescued and adopted by husband and wife, here we go, Amphitryon and Alcmene, as voiced by Hal Holbrook and Barbara Barrie, respectively. As a human child, he grows up clumsy, awkward, and always feeling out of place due to his superhuman strength, and basically shunned by those around him as a result. He is always kind of thinking he's meant for more, and he does learn of his true heritage, and from there seeks out the trainer of heroes, Philosocrates, or Phil, that's a nice easy one, as played by Danny DeVito, who proceeds to mould Hercules into a sleek, evil-fighting, monster-bashing hero machine. Well, almost. Along the way, he meets McEnery, or Meg, as voiced by Susan Egan, a strong, sassy, in the positive sense, and voluptuous temptress working for Hades, who ends up falling in love with Hercules, much to the delight of Hades, who uses this to exploit Hercules and basically has his powers removed, then starting his own bid to take over Mount Olympus. Can Hercules save the day and the girl? Well, it's a Disney, so there's really no mystery there, but it is still fantastic fun finding out nonetheless. So, I absolutely love the quirky animation that's used in this movie. It's got a really kind of different and abstract vibe to it. It really has, with an excellently kind of Grecian twist. It is extremely vibrant, fun, and fresh, you know. And for the most part, the animation is absolutely on point. It does use some computer-generated elements, though, in places, particularly during Hercules' fight with the Hydra. And given this was kind of one of the early features to kind of do so, you can really tell. The animation looks substantially different at that point, which really does let the side down somewhat in an otherwise unblemished kind of movie. But it isn't that prominent enough really to spoil your overall viewing. It's just these elements do now look quite dated, if I'm honest. The characters themselves are very stylised, and each has a presence all of its own, especially Hades, who is exactly how a Disney villain should be. Equal parts evil, funny, dark, and absolutely devilish in his exploits. Indeed, Hades is by far the best character in this film, seconded only by Danny DeVito's Phil. Woods gives an absolutely excellent vocal performance as Hades, and the animators have done a perfect job, absolutely perfect, of capturing his style and his essence, which just makes that character kind of pop off the screen. For a villain, he gets quite a lot of screen time, which was an interesting take, but I think works remarkably well in this movie all told. He's a villain you can really get behind, and indeed, he did add, quite a lot of the movie's kind of comedy elements, which did, admittedly, help to tone down some of his evil schemes. Not forgetting, of course, one of them was indeed to kill a baby. And, so just touched on, so second to James Woods as Hades, a shout-out has to go to Danny DeVito as Phil. His portrayal as the trainer of heroes is fantastic, witty, totally amusing, in only the way Danny DeVito can be, you know? Totally full of sarcasm and that dry, angry undertones that he has. Very well placed against Hercules' buffoonery, you know? You can really tell that for each of the characters, the animators really went all out to study and capture the heart and the very soul of each of the actors that played them, which really, really does bring a true magical and but honest, I think, quality to their portrayal on screen. The music is excellent too. Once again, brought to us by that Disney staple, Alan Menken. I'm mentioning him a lot in the Disney movies just of late. This time pairing with David Zippel for the lyrics. This was actually the last time that Menken would actually pen the music for a Disney film for quite some time. Not again, I do believe, until 2004's movie Home on the Range. At least said about that one, the better. Again, it's not comparable to some of Menken's earlier works, but the beats are certainly there. And the musical numbers certainly have a real kind of gospel choir come jazz feel about them, which, you know, with a real upbeat tempo, which matches the movie's quirky and slightly offbeat tones, and will have you toe-tapping away in your seat for sure. They really will. The story is in fact mostly told through song, with a group of muses consisting of, and here we go again, Calliope, Melpomene, Terpsichore, Thalia and Clio, as voiced by Lillias White, Cheryl Freeman, LaChanze, Ros Ryan and Vanessa Thomas, respectively, providing the majority of the vocals and kind of becoming the film's narrators, if you like, bringing a very kind of refreshing and very distinct sound and a fantastically playful edge. The whole movie is simply full of positive energy throughout and has a real kind of captivating charm that really does just leave you satisfied, if you kind of get what I mean. It feels epic in nature, given the use of the Titans and the Greek mythology, but yet it is extremely punchy, full of instant quips and visual gags that really do keep that story moving, along a really nice and brisk pace. It doesn't hang around, and there's always something new and enticing around the corner. So, overall, I do think this is a bit of an overlooked gem, in my opinion. Even I, I've got to admit, I fell foul of forgetting, really, much of what happens in the movie. But it did all come flooding back when I watched it. It really did. It really does deserve more respect, as indeed it's just simply great fun and with tons of quirky appeal. It's an excellent family movie with a real upbeat and feel-good vibe and tempo. Okay, so it is not as near perfect as some of the studio's earlier films from its Renaissance period, which this actually is in that time frame. But it is fantastically well cast and immensely enjoyable. The characters are as well, indeed. Some absolutely show-stopping tunes and songs, and really adventurous quality, reminiscent of some of the kind of old stop-motion adventure classics like Jez and the Argonauts, that kind of thing. It is a lively addition to the Disney Classics range, a real motivational coming-of-age story about the search to become a true hero and finding out that, you know, an act of true kindness can sometimes outweigh brute strength in finding yourself on that journey. So, that brings me to the end of this episode. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please leave a like. Please do hit that subscribe button for more movie reviews, trailer reactions, and other movie-related content. Absolutely loved having here at SciFirst Movie Talk, and we would definitely love to have you back. But yes, most of all, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.